Dice Kitty here. I have another board game component and gameplay review for you. Today it's Remnants from Fireside, easily one of my favorite board game companies. Alright, so first, board, standard type of material. It's small and fits on the table. I like that. I don't like overbearing boards. Dice. There are lots of standard plastic dice with different sides. We've got all these different little tokens. They're all cardboard, so over time you're gonna get wear and tear on these. So, ooh, I almost dropped them. So just be careful with them. But like that's rope and plastic, and wood and cloth, and metal. So just your standard little punch board tokens. Then you've got bonus tokens, which are also your standard punch board tokens. They all do something different in game based on the image that's on them. And there are 5 of those. And they get placed randomly every turn, so you don't know what you're getting, which is fun. And then these help you track your victory points. They're also little cardboard punch-out tokens. They're flavor packets, but they look just like ketchup packets. And it makes me want to get actual ketchup packets to give to people as victory points. I think that'd be fun. You've also got survivor tokens. These are standard survivors. They have men and women. There's no difference between them other than one's man, one's woman. And on the back of all the survivors, they all have this symbol on them. That just means they're injured when you flip them over. Alright, and then you've got specialists like this guy. He's called the Scrounger. He's got like the little 2 die symbol on him. Then you've got this guy who is the Hauler. And he's got like a little coin symbol, which is actually one of these. And it has a 2 on it. Then you've got the Rummager. Yeah, the Rummager. And it's got the little loot symbol on it. Alright. Last cardboard piece besides the boards is the turn player flag, which I really wish had like a little stand or even a place on the player boards that was like a little notch where you could stick it. That would have been great. Player boards. You've got the Sanctuary. They get to start with 6 survivors. New Eden, 4 survivors and a Rummager. Freetown, 4 survivors and a Scrounger. And Asheville, 4 survivors and a Hauler. So that's the only difference between all the different compounds, is what they get to start with. Let's see, what else here? Oh, cubes. There's these little cubes here. All the players get a brown, a red, and a gray wooden cube. Those are used to mark your loot. Red for heal, the gray for the screwdriver, and the brown for the scrap. And then there's a little black cube, and there's only one of those, and that is to mark the dread counter at the top of the board there. Alright, everything else that's in here are the cards. And I have sleeved mine. So the game does not come with sleeves. They are standard size sleeves. So basically Magic cards, you know, that size. I like it when games use commonly used sizes like standard or small size, either one, because then sleeves are easy to come by. I got just some Ultra Pro clear on the front and back for mine, and it works great. So those are your survivor and training cards. This tells you what it takes to get a survivor, and this one tells you what it takes to train a survivor to become one of the specialists. Alright, and then there's several decks. There's a Badlands deck, and it has a bunch of cards that do good things and bad things. Then you've got development cards like Development 1. So these are easy to buy, but they don't necessarily like have a super amazing awesome ability, but they're useful. Then you've got Development 2. which are a little bit harder to purchase, but at the same time, their abilities are worth it. And then you've got Development 3 cards, which definitely are harder to purchase because they require a lot of material, but they really pack a wallet for what you spend on them. Then you've got Level 1 Dread cards, which are your bad guys. So when it hits the first red square on the board, you're fighting one of those. Level 2 Dread cards, when it hits the second, you're fighting one of these. And then finally, when you hit that last one, you're fighting one of the bosses. All of these are randomly selected, so you don't really know who you're going up against each time. And the boss gets one of these power-up cards randomly. Now, they all have the same picture, but they all do different things. So, I really, really hate when we get, oh, which one was it? I don't remember now. I think it's this one, the bodyguard. You have to fight the bodyguard first and then the boss. So, it's like 2 cards for the boss instead of, you know, just the boss. Oh, no, it's the Duke. That's who I don't like. Draw a second power-up card at random. That's what happened. He had a power-up card and we had the bodyguard. Yeah, that was... we didn't beat him. But it's okay. That's one thing I love about this game. You don't have to beat the bad guys in order to win because it goes off victory points. So, it's one of the things I love about it. Alright, components. I love the components because they make the game affordable for people, you know, because they're cardboard. But I would love to see upgrade packs with miniatures. Like all the, you know, the standard survivors all have the same look to them. And then make the looter, or rummagers, excuse me, rummagers and the haulers and all them, make them look different. And if they get injured, maybe have like a little red ring that goes around them to show they're injured. That would be cool. Also, little plastic tokens instead of cardboard. Like, I don't know, 3D printed type stuff. Like a little pile of wood. That would be cute. I like the little wooden cubes. They don't have to be fancy. And they work perfect on this board. They fit perfectly in the squares. Like, not snug, perfect to the exact size, but they fit in there just fine. They're not too tight. They're not too loose. They just, you know, move along the track easily. I love the dice. They're custom dice, so you're not going to find these dice anywhere. I like the artwork. It's very Mad Max-ish, so that's great too. I just really like the components to the game. That was one of the draws for me, was how the components looked. Another was, hey, that game is not that expensive because these bazillions of tokens are all cardboard. I can afford it, and hopefully they'll put out an upgrade pack or something later and make cool, you know, different looking tokens or miniatures. So, alright, 2 thumbs up on components. I like them. Gameplay. There is a lot going on in this game, but it's worth it. So I would say read through the rulebook at least once. Maybe watch one how to play video, or sit down with your friends like I did. I sat down with like one of my good friends who plays board games with me, and we figured it out. And it didn't take long. It's not complicated. There's just a lot to it. You've got 5 phases. Scavenge, build, fight, heal, and clean up. Fight only happens every other round, or every other turn. Whenever the little cube gets to one of the red squares, that's when fight happens. And like I said, that's when you're fighting the bad guys. But scavenge, you throw your dudes on the board. You flip the top Badlands card and do what it says. Then you advance the dread track, so you move the little square up. Then you roll to scavenge. This is what I love about the gameplay for this. This is fun. Whoever has the little flag, they make sure everybody's ready, and then they go scavenge, and then you start rolling dice. When you get 3 of any one symbol, you get to collect that resource. If you get 3 stars, that's when you get one of the little bonus tokens off the board. Once all the bonus tokens are gone, that's it. Scavenging is done. Then you roll for looting. That's where the pips come into play on the dice. So for each looter, like each little dude that you throw out there to be a looter, you take one die for each one. So if I put 2 out there, I get 2 dice, I roll them, and however many pips are showing, this is 3 and 2, so that'd be 5. That gives me that many loot points, and you can distribute them however you want across all 3 tracks. So you can do 2 in one, 3 in another. You can do, you know, what I say, 5. You can do 2 in one. Or you can put all 5 in one. It doesn't matter. You just distribute your loot points, and then you bury anything that's left over out here. So if there's anything in here, you put it back in the bank, and then anything that's out here gets pushed into the center. And that's for the next turn, for the next scavenging turn. After you're done burying resources, you go into the build phase. That's where the development cards come in. There will be 3 of each development showing, and you take your resources. So like I wanted this card here, it takes a wood and a I think I called it wood earlier. It takes a metal and a plastic, and I put this back in the stash, you know, the bank, and then I get this card, and I get whatever the ability is on it. So you build up your compound by buying the development cards. So after you build stuff, you can build those type of things, or you can recruit more survivors or train the survivors that you have to make them better rummagers, scroungers, haulers, that type of thing. Now, after you build, you fight, only when it's on the little red track. So if it's not on the red track, you don't fight, you skip that, and you go into healing. That's when you can spend these here, and you spend 1 to flip 1 injured survivor back to the other side. After you heal people, it's cleanup. You refresh any cards. Like some cards want you to, not this one specifically, but some cards will want you to turn them sideways to use them. So refresh them, standing them back up. I lost my place. Oh, you place your resources after that. So all the stuff that was left over should already be buried. And however many players there are, that's how many of the resources you put out there. So if there's 2, you put 2 out there. If there are 3, 3 go out there, so on and so forth. Alright, after you place resources, you add your bonus tokens, and they're selected randomly, and that's these little bonus tokens. Select them randomly. If there are 2 people, you put 1 here. It's minus the 1 from the number of players. So with 2 people, there's only 1 bonus. With 4 people, there are 3 bonuses. Alright, and after that, you pass the little flag, and you do it all over again. And you do that until after you fight the boss. Once you fight the boss, game is done. Pretty simple. And then you count up your victory points. Whoever has the most flavor packets, one side has a 1 printed on it, the other has a 2. So if you have this, just put 1 back in the stash and flip the other around. So you count up those, and you count up any victory points on your development cards, which will be down here in the bottom corner. And whoever has the most wins. So, like I said, it's not super complicated to play. There's just a lot going on. But if you like Mad Max or genres like that, it's a lot of fun. Now, I didn't go into detail about how you battle against the raiders, or what certain abilities do, because this is not how to play video. This is just a brief rundown of gameplay, so all I wanted to go over was the order of play. But, everything is pretty self-explanatory. It's all written on the cards, so, like I said, once you understand what some of the symbols mean, that's one defense, the little blue symbol, and then this guy, he reduces defense by 3, and what you use defense for is it reduces their health number, makes it easier for you to defeat them. So he reduces your shield, so if you have 3 or less shields, they're useless against him, basically. But yeah, I really enjoyed the gameplay on this, because to me, it doesn't feel sluggish, because it feels like everybody's doing something. Because if it's not like when we're building, turn player is looking at the cards, everybody else is looking at the cards too, because they're like, oh, okay, I've got these resources, I can buy this. Oh, but what if they buy it? Okay, so what else could I buy? Or what might pop up? There's just enough to do and to think about and to work on that I don't feel like I'm waiting for somebody to finish their turn, or I'm waiting for somebody to do something. So, I don't know. I really enjoy the game. It's a lot of fun. So, components and gameplay both get 2 thumbs up from me. I hope everyone else who's played this enjoys it as much as I do. I think it's a fantastic game, and I would love to see some upgrade bags. I can't stress that enough. Alright, folks. Well, that's it for Fireside's Remnants review. Make sure you go and check out their website and their Twitter and their Facebook and all that good stuff. And thanks for watching. Make sure you check out my article about it too. Bored out? Game on.